Everything in this is designed and manufactured to push the limits of what's possible.
A lot of the test systems that we have now, we didn't have when we started this project. They've been developed with the product itself. So now all of our products, razors, Vipers, everything in our lineup now has the ability to be tested to these standards as well.
What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic. My good friend Ryan Muckenhern to my right, because across from us, we have Mr. Connor McDermott and Andy Haffemann.
Nailed it.
From our AMG group. And today is a new product alert, a standout new product alert. This is a really cool optic. It has a really cool story. The AMG group, in my opinion, I consider it a separate division of Vortex Optics in some, it's the AMG group. But you guys are here to talk about that. So let's do that. Let's start there. Well, okay. Let's announce what this new product is. And then I want to go, please, go back in time and just talk about the AMG group,
which camera?
The origin, and what it is. And if you're watching on YouTube, Ryan is holding up this absolutely glorious optic, a feat of mechanical and optical
prowess
construction.
It's really short.
It is very short, yeah.
But that was the idea, right?
That was definitely the idea. Yep, we sought out to make the shortest, best performing LPVO on the market. So yeah, and this is where we ended, which I think we met the goal.
You guys definitely got there. What, Ryan?
Well, maybe I should have asked this before the cameras were rolling, but can we talk about why we got here?
Well, that's where I wanted to go. I want to talk about what is the AMG group, Ryan, and then my second bullet point on my printout, what is the origin story?
Oh, yeah, it says right there, those printouts.
Yeah, so AMG Group stands for Advanced Manufacturing Group. There's a group of us, myself included, Connor here as well, mechanical engineers, optical engineers, project managers. We are working on products that really kind of push the limits in terms of kind of what's possible from both a mechanical and optical perspective. And that's where we got to today with the AMG 1-10x24, first focal plane rifle scope that we've got on the table. Connor, anything else you want to add to what AMG is? And
yeah, AMG is more than just the products, more than just the designers. It's also our whole manufacturing group itself. I mean, it's the advanced manufacturing group. We're the design engineers, we're the design team, but we have our entire machine shop here. We have our assemblers here in Barneveld putting together these scopes. So I don't want to take away from the amazing work that they're doing and put all the light on us. We couldn't do our job without the guys down there just absolutely kicking butt and putting these things together for us and making them for us.
I mean, that is one cool thing. Well, there's a lot of cool things about the scope, but everything happens here.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that and because of the team that we have here, what does it allow you to do that you might not be able to do with, say, like an optic that we work with one of our partners with?
So it does a lot of things for us. With a lot of our OEM products, we get to spec out like what we want as far as dimensionals, as far as optical performance, but we don't get to control the individual design of every single component. So by being the controller of the design, by doing all the engineering work here in-house, we can control every single tolerance we put onto every single part. So we've really learned in depth how interactions between two different components, like a cell into a housing, how that plays into the optical tilt or the optical performance. By adjusting this one dimension, now we're affecting the entire optic in this way. So we spent years and years on developing this product and developing our skills and understanding how every single one of those interactions affects the optical system. So not only do we have the optimized product here for this, but now we actually have that knowledge that we can bring down to all of our OEM teams and the other teams within our product development and say, hey, if you are seeing this kind of problem with the other scopes that we have in our lineup, well, talk to the factory partners and say, hey, it might be this. So we've had that ability to control every single part of this design from ground up, which gives us the flexibility to do whatever we want and the ability to really look at the product in a whole new light and not be beholden to what our factory partners are offering. And not only that, there's a lot of things that our factory partners say, well, we don't want to do that. It's not cost effective for us. The price point is just not there. It's not going to work for us. We haven't ever been told here, well, price is too much. We can't do that, or that operation is too expensive. I mean, within limits, we want to make sure everything is running efficiently. We don't want to just be scrapping 90% of all the stuff we're making, but we start out maybe scrapping 90% of the stuff that we're making and work our way down to an effective, efficient product at the end of it. And we have that ability to do that because we're controlling that all here in-house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, without those constraints, I mean, in some ways you could look at it as like it's an investment, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a huge investment in the people here at Vortex as well, because I mean the amount of knowledge so Connor and I have both really been working on this project for 7 years now, and the knowledge the two of us have gained throughout that time has been awesome, and just the team that we've developed, not us personally, but just Vortex has developed in terms of manufacturing and assembly and just all the logistical side of it. Like it's a ton of work and a ton of effort that went into it to making processes as efficient as possible and just growing the people to do amazing things and to be able to create something awesome. So, I mean, everything in this is designed and manufactured to push the limits of what's possible. And to Connor's point, we want to be cognizant of making sure that it is as cost effective as possible, but we're going to push performance well over that mark, and it's going to be the highest priority that we can possibly put on it. So
for some folks listening, this is like you're very excited because you've been emailing and texting and calling me and saying, when is the next AMG product coming out? And what is, when you mentioned 7 years, so we still had AMG, was it AMG 4, AMG 5? Was it the SKUs?
Yep. 624 by 50.
And that's still a product that we service because of our warranty. We still kind of technically build them.
We don't build new.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
we
components
repair.
and repair, that kind of thing.
Yep.
That what started as like a short project, it reminds me of the Toyota FJ Cruiser. It was supposed to be like a super limited run. And then people are like, well, this thing's really cool. Can we get more of them? And then we kept them on for a while and then quietly sunsetted them. And for the AMG enthusiasts out there that got into AMG 4 and AMG 5, they've been waiting with bated breath to see what was coming next. And this whole time we haven't been able to talk about anything.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, don't worry, AMG, like those guys are still here. They're doing stuff. And this was like a huge project. There was like the origin or the why behind it is even cooler than what AMG 4, AMG 5 represented, which was the in-house build, like no holds barred, no constraints, no box. There was some serious skin in the game with this thing.
Yeah. So when we got brought on, so the team that developed the AMG 6-24, they actually are now responsible for the M157.
Yeah.
Yep. So they took all of that knowledge and really kind of implemented it into that product, which kind of left a little bit of a void for us in terms of having a development team to develop in-house stuff, not just specifically for military use. So when we got hired on, it was kind of almost to backfill those roles that had moved on to that project. And we were kind of learning from scratch on it as well.
Yeah.
So there was so much for us to learn. And we obviously used them as a resource, but it was still like they were extremely busy with all the stuff that they had going on, right? So yeah, a lot of it was just kind of learning as we broke stuff and put more things together and broke it again and just continued to learn. And I would say, so we've actually been producing this scope now for about 4 years, I believe. But up until this point, all of it has gone towards open contract opportunities that we've been supplying as well. So now we're really excited to actually get into the commercial market and get some feedback and get into users' hands there as well. but yeah, it's been a long time coming, and we've been producing it for a while. But over those kind of 4 years, we've just been becoming more and more efficient with it, and improving little parts of it throughout the design to make it as robust and as high performing as we want it to be. So
it is pretty cool because there's other products that we do that don't see the commercial light of day, and you get hopeful. Like on my end of things, it's like, I think people would really like that. Like it's a contract, like that, and that's just the way it is, right? And so, I think it would have been last year where the discussion to bring it public was made, and I was sitting across the table, I think from Duckett, and I was like, "Wait, for real?" And he's like, "Yeah." It was like, "Oh wow, this is going to be huge. People are going to go bananas over this because it is a disruptive product. Like when you look at it compared to other LPVOs, I mean, it's well, you guys are going to have the specs on it, what the OAL is on it, but
8.4 inches with the diopter all the way in.
Yep.
It's about 1.5 inches shorter than our current Razor 1-10.
Yeah, which is just nuts. Super, super cool. Can we talk about? And you can tell me no.
We can talk about anything you want, Ryan.
Who needed it first and why?
Yeah, so we saw an opportunity. So we have a sales rep over in the UK. His name is Bentley. Great guy. He kind of brought the idea to us before Connor and I were even here.
Yeah.
That the UK MOD was looking at a LPVO, preferably in the 1-10 range, but they wanted it to be extremely short. And everything that we currently had in terms of LPVOs did not fit the bill. And we knew the Razor 1-10 was coming out, but the requirements were under 10 inches, which that is, I think, 10.25. So we talked about, hey, do we just trim off some part of the scope tube or something like that to make that work? But in reality, we're like, no, let's actually see if we can put together a team and design something. So I guess the first thing that we did was we reached out to our factory partners to say, hey, this is what we're looking to develop. Do you guys want to do it with us? And everybody that we reached out to said no. So they said it was either going to be too expensive or it was going to be too difficult for them to do, and they just weren't willing to put the time and resources into trying to make it happen for us. So they hired a team to start the development. It's internal instead.
Yeah.
And
I remember that SHOT Show.
Yeah.
and I remember the discussion, and it was like, what? Like, that's not possible. That's getting into like tube red dot size.
Yep.
And nothing like that had really been done, certainly not mastered. And when you talk about the difficulties of like opto-mechanical design, when you get into those physical constraints, like the statement you made about just hacking off 2 inches of the front of it, like it doesn't work that way.
Yep.
You might think it does, but I'm reminded early.
Oh, you guys didn't just take the skill saw.
Early on in my tenure here, I was down in new product development meeting for something, and I remember Sam sitting there quietly and stoically. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Optics are hard, man." He's like, you change one thing on. At any point, what do you call it? The track from front to back?
Prescription.
Okay. You change something back here, something up here is affected.
Yep.
Something in the middle, both sides get it. And it's like, it's a constantly moving goalpost that there seems to be no rules or logic to. Like, it's not a linear equation. If here, then here will not happen so cleanly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And lots of trial, lots of error.
Oh yeah, tons of it. And so our optical engineer at the time, I very much feel like optical engineering is somewhat of an art. There is an art to it where you're balancing as much as you can and you're improving areas here and there, but any optical engineer can get to a different solution. There's a million different ways to get to it. So it's just how do you find what you believe is the right solution to get there? And I think that was probably one of the most challenging things that we had to overcome. And I think our optical engineer, Christian, did an awesome job getting us to this point. And yeah, it is. A lot of it is like art, trying to get it to what it needs to be. Yeah. So it's impressive.
Well, and then talking about that give and take, it's like usually to get something, you give up something, right? But also when I look at the finished product here, I don't see the concessions. Like this thing is an absolute masterpiece, and we've been talking about the size and the weight, but it's absolutely astonishing what you guys were able to accomplish in this optic. Like you said, I mean, you could set this next to a Strike-Fire 2.
It's not that far off.
It's not that far off. Yeah. Which for anybody, Strike-Fire 2 is a tube style reticle.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'm glad you have that opinion. As the main mechanical designer, I see every single concession.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about them because I don't want anybody else to see them. But no, it was years and years of learning and trying and figuring out how we can massage every little point. And that's, like we said earlier, that's the beauty of having full control of it, is we can massage every single point to find that ideal solution. If we had to do that with factory partners, that 7-year project would be 15.
Yep.
And the cool thing too that we kind of have to remember, or would be good to bring up, I guess, the original scopes that we delivered on are not this scope. They're very, very similar. Optically, it's the same prescription. Functionally, it's very similar, but we've made so many improvements since then. We've had a continuous improvement schedule pretty much for the first product we released to what we're releasing now for the production commercial launch. And so when you see the couple that we've sold on rifle packages in the past, those are all contract overruns. Those ones compared to those ones are really good still, but what you're going to be getting now on the consumer side is even better than that.
And I think, what was there, 50 of those?
I think there's 2 runs of 50 that were sold out.
So 100 total.
Yep.
And like things that I wish I could have just bought as an employee, could not have bought as an employee.
Yep.
And which is, there's something cool about that. Regretfully, I didn't buy an AMG 4 and AMG 5.
Mm-hmm.
And like I screwed up in not doing that, not because I needed a fully featured ultralight 6-24 first focal plane rifle scope, because honestly I don't, right? It doesn't fill a void or a niche that I need filled. It's what it represented.
Right.
And now it's like, now I can buy this. And so I'm not going to make that same mistake that I made with AMG 4, AMG 5. One of these is going to come home. I don't know that it'll ever leave the box. Like,
Might take it out and look at it every once in a while and put it back.
But it's something that it's very significant. It's very significant. Well, and it's crazy to think too, 7 years. Like, I remember when you guys had the shells.
Oh, yeah.
And like you handed me one, and I was like, "What is this?" And like, well, it's just
we were so proud of it. We had no idea.
Yeah. And it's like you pull them apart, and then you just move stuff and put them back. It's like that's how, okay. We're starting from the basics and moving up.
It's been an amazing learning adventure that we've had with this product, with our other products, with all of our competitor products. I mean, the amount of time that we spent behind guns, taking apart rifles, doing trainings. Or not rifles, but taking apart optics.
Yeah.
Like we've done it all. We've CT scanned optics. We've done so many different things to learn and create our knowledge base over those 7 years to get where we are now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, 7 years that went fast.
Well, and then going back to what Connor was saying, the original, variant, if you will, of the scope was for the British SAS. And then you guys have made improvements over time. Usually it's like the consumer, or your general consumer is like, man, I wish I could get what those guys have. And it's like, no, you want this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I mean, don't get I hope the Ministry of Defense isn't listening too hard, because they've gotten those updates too. Over the years, as we've come up with those updates, we've had these rolling changes.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've just left them high and dry.
Okay. So that's a good clarification, because I thought maybe because of like the parameters, stuff gets spec'd so tightly over time that it's like, well, no, we can't really deviate from that because this was the request. But that's cool that you guys have been able to implement that over time as well.
So we've constantly given them a better product, but there are certain features on the commercial launch that are not on the contract stuff. Most specifically, the dual zero turrets. That's not a feature that is available on any of the contract
overruns
scopes
or any of the contract scopes that have gone out. Yep.
And probably not something that would necessarily appeal to that user group, because they are in a box with respect to the weapon system that they're running it on, the ammunition spec that they're running.
Yep.
The dual zero turret really is, well, I guess we should talk about it. You have the ability to zero your turret as you normally would, and then have another turret ring on it to indicate where. Here's a really good example. If you're shooting 300 AAC or 7.62x35 for the nerds, and you have a subsonic and you have a supersonic loading, it would be an immediate visual indicator as to where that zero position would be for the sub or for the super, whichever one you're prioritizing at that time. Rotate the turret to that, and you're on your zero.
Yep.
And it's so simple. Like I remember when that was first talked about, they're like, how could we make a turret that had 2 zero positions on it? And like the math that was swirling around my head, also why I'm not an engineer. What I came up with in my mind in 5 seconds was wildly complex, and I'm certain very fragile. This is a sub turret, a ring, and a cap screw thing that just goes on there, and you really can't screw it up.
Yeah, that's where I gotta give kudos to Connor. He is brilliant when it comes to finding solutions like that are, I think the toughest solutions that you can find are something that's super easy and just very elegant. And a lot of times you can just over-engineer the heck out of stuff. And he's done an awesome job on this product, coming up with solutions that are extremely robust, very innovative, and very user-friendly for people. It's been really cool to watch that and see how that's grown and progressed. And I think all this stuff that we've learned and are implementing on these products is stuff that's gonna roll down into other stuff too, which is cool.
Which is another cool thing about AMG too. Like, because you guys don't have the fences around things, like throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks.
Yep.
And if something sticks hard, it's like, oh, this works. Trickle down.
Yep.
And
100%.
That's the neatest thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, in our group, we're not afraid to start a project, run it for a while, learn from it, and then cancel it if it's not right. Sure. I mean, what we're trying to bring to the customer is the correct product every single time. Yep. But no matter what development we're doing, no matter what we have been done with that project, we've learned something from it that we can bring to the next one, or we can bring to other products. We have turret designs that we're like, this is not quite right for this project, but hey, we could take it down to our Viper line and this would be amazing down here.
Yep.
Like it fits that market correctly. So it's a really cool arrangement that we have with our group to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, so we've talked about the dual zero turret, which is really, really cool. Let's just dive into the specs and features of this
absolutely.
thing. So you said
8.4.
8.4 inches long, which is just, like I said, it's absolutely astounding. What's it come in at weight-wise?
18.8 ounces.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. So I think our Razor Gen 3 1-10 comes in around 23, 21 and a half, somewhere in there. Yeah. So about 3 to 4 ounces lighter than that as well.
I mean, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but in the context, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's tough to find those tenths of an ounce here and there. I mean, you can see here the cutouts on the.
That's what I was going to ask about.
On the scope tube, yeah, that cut about 0.4 ounces out of the scope tube. So it adds a ton of machining time and effort into programming it and getting it out right. But it's just another area. It's like, hey, where can we look to cut weight to make this the best that it can be? And that was a kind of underutilized area on optics that we're like, hey, let's cut out some weight here, and I think it gave it a pretty cool look too, which is sweet. But yeah, I mean, we're
shout out
looking
to Jordan Block on that. One of our machinists at the time, he was the one that came up with that idea.
Yeah,
he's like,
it looks cool.
It looks great. It's a signature look for the AMG line. So I mean, like I said, it's those guys down there too are bringing ideas to us as well. It's a great idea that he had to help cut weight out.
Yep. Yeah. So we're looking anywhere in there based off materials that we're using or how we can put weight reliefs into areas or just design things differently to cut weight was a huge push for us on this too.
Awesome. What about, let's talk about the optics themselves a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, these things are for looking through. So it's a 1-10x24.
Yep.
First focal plane optical system. What can you tell me about the optics in it?
So I would say the biggest thing for us when we were designing this is in an LPVO, we really want to make it shine at 1x. So, the toughest thing I think for an optical engineer too on an LPVO is to have it be as good as possible at 1x. So you can get a lot of field curvature and weird things happening when you have that 1x. What is really important in an LPVO is to get it to act like a red dot in 1x. So you want that image as flat as possible. So that way, when you're looking with both eyes open, you pretty much just see a floating reticle there for you. Or in this case, we've got a daylight bright for reticle in the first focal plane, so it can act pretty much just like a red dot for you. So that was probably one of the toughest things to address from an optical perspective, was to get that ultra flat 1x for people. And I mean, that's where this in my opinion, shines the most is at 1X. It is the flattest LPVO I've ever laid eyes on. And when you pull it up, if you've got your diopter and everything set properly, it really is like the scope disappears.
Yeah, scope goes away. It's just clear as day. It is amazing.
What's the term for that? Is it called signature?
The
Yeah,
scope
the scope
signature.
signature.
Yep.
Okay. So just what physically of the scope you can see at 1X. And so I've got it at 1X right now, and I've got my diopter tuned, and it's like I've just got a very faint black ring, just very faint.
That was something we worked on quite a bit, minimizing the geometry around the lenses themselves with the eyepiece, and kind of working with the way light bends around the mechanics itself to minimize that.
Yeah, what's neat is like if I close my non-dom eye, like I can't see the illumination knob. I have the turret caps off, but the illumination knob is more proud than the turret is. I can't see the shark fin when I'm at proper eye relief. Like it's just a faint black ring around a floating reticle. It was pretty neat.
Yep, and that was the ultimate goal at 1X was to have that.
Yeah.
So 1X being a major design tenet that we had, but we couldn't sacrifice 10 at all. Part of the specs that we had from the Ministry of Defense was observability and target recognition out at distances. So we had to have like high resolution at those distances so they could make a good target acquisition and recognition. So we worked a lot on trying to find the correct parallax position. So setting our parallax distance, because it is a fixed parallax system, we have this set further out than you'll see on most LPVOs, and that is done for this system in particular because we found it gives you the best resolution out at 10x and the higher mags without sacrificing too much at the low mags. Because low mags are far less sensitive than the higher magnification, so we can push that out without having cascading effect, where if we did it the other way and really focused that parallax adjustment close in, now that has a big 10 times cascading effect out at the high mag. So we weren't afraid to set this at, I think we spec'd it at 250.
250.
For the parallax distance on this instead of like 100, 150 that you kind of normally see on an LPVO.
And that is a fickle process.
Very fickle.
Like, that's pretty wild. That's been fun for me to sit, like, to come to the table with a long history of sport optics, either sales or use, and then like convention, as you mentioned, dictates like most of the time you see a fixed parallax optic. Most companies are running 100-yard fixed parallax. There's a few out there that are on like a 150. And then you think about it, be like, well, yeah, I mean, it's an LPVO. Like, why wouldn't, like, I'm probably going to shoot stuff short. Well, it's a 1-10 first focal plane LPVO that also has a grid type reticle on the bottom, is designed to utilize at distance. And depending on the application you put it on, like take, for example, a 16-inch ADM 7.62 gun, like it's a 1,000-yard rifle if it needs to be. The difference between that 1 and that 250 is target resolution or not. And you wouldn't think that. And the amount of sensitivity in that adjustment and nailing that down is like, holy smokes. When you guys allude to what that takes, it's crazy.
Yeah, we actually had an event out at our outdoor range, and it was in early December, snow covered. We had white targets with some green paint on it out at 1,040 yards, and they were taking the AMG 1-10 out and accurately hitting targets at 1,040 with white on white. So I mean, it goes to show that we did our job to make sure resolution at 10x was just as good as 1.
Yep. No, it's pretty nifty. It's cool because it forces a little different thought process on what parallax should be, like from 75 years of convention. And it's like, oh, okay.
And a 1-10 LPVO is a different use case as a 1-8 or a 1-6.
Sure, absolutely.
So there are different design tenets in a 1-10 than you see in low power variable optics. And so we had to make sure those distance and those higher magnifications were actually usable.
You mentioned daylight bright illumination. Let's talk about the illumination a little bit.
We'll turn it to stun here for you, Mark.
Yeah, so we turn it up to 11 like you do.
Yeah,
I love it.
And it is
nuclear.
blazing bright at 11. You know, people people with daylight bright reticles, the desire there is to have it blazing bright.
I can watch.
So
his
we
pupil
pretty much gave it.
constrict.
That's actually my pupil is melting.
Yeah, we did not restrict on the brightness at all when it comes to 11 there. So it is, in any conditions, you will be able to see that dot, which is kind of what you're looking for, right? Whether it's in a desert condition or you're out in the blazing white snow with super, super bright daylight, you're going to see that dot, and that's kind of what we were aiming for there. And then we also offer the two lowest settings are NV settings, so to your naked eye, you won't see them, but if you are running nods for whatever situation, you'll be able to use those two lowest settings too for you.
Yeah, it's important to note, because we do go so high, you don't need to use it at high for every situation.
Yeah.
That is for the snow and the sand.
Yeah.
As mentioned.
Just because it goes to 11 doesn't mean you need to use 11.
Yeah.
You need to use the appropriate
Yeah.
setting for the scenario you're in. Otherwise, you might see artifacting.
Yeah.
And that's just because there's so much light energy being pumped into the system that the scene can't overcome it.
Yeah. This is a neat illumination style too. I think it's our second unit that we've used that style of illumination. As opposed to like the Razor 1-6, we use a fiber.
Correct.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
pointed back at the shooter.
It's a diffractive grading system.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have to look through it to really appreciate it. But there's like some geometry around the center of the reticle. And like you can go on our website and you can look at what the representation of the reticle looks like. And it's almost like semi-transparent.
Yep.
But then when you hit it with the loom, it's just like, bam, super bright. So when you're not loomed, it's present, but not distracting or not obscuring of what we're trying to shoot. You can actually see through it. And then when loomed, it's as if it was, an opaque or solid surface that's reflecting back. Super cool.
It is super cool. Like you said, 11 intensity levels, everything from NV to melt your mind, and then locking illumination.
I think you just got LASIK.
Off positions between each. Yeah, free LASIK every.
So this one compared to like the Razor, we increased the amount of surface area actually like available right here.
Yeah.
So that when you got gloves on, you got big hands, you can grab onto pretty much the entire knob and use it. So we just try to get more surface area. One of the design tenets for the entire ethos of this product was speed and usability. So that's why you see the increased surface area here. You can just grab onto it, turn it. Like you're not worried about trying to find the very edge of it and pull it out. That's why we have a 120 degree throw here. It's speed from 1 to 10. You don't have to go all the way over. That's why we have a fast focus diopter. But the bad part about a fast focus diopter that you can grab your entire hand onto is when it's mounted up to a rifle and you got it slung across your chest, it's rubbing up against your chest. Now your diopter's turning a little bit. So that's why we threw a locking nut on here, but it's two different speeds. The locking nut and the eyepiece are two different speeds. So this moves really fast, but the locking nut moves really slow. So once you get your eyepiece where you want it set, all you have to do is snug that eyepiece up to it, and it's fully locked in place.
That's one of my favorite features on this Optic, only because it's like it's like one of those puzzle toys that you get, and you're like, well, wait a minute, how come that translates like a 1/4 inch in 1 rev? But this thing is like what I'm used to on my locking diopter optics. Well, because it is.
Yep.
And you want to talk about like usefulness. I like a fast focus diopter because it's fast focus and like you can nail it. And a lot of times it's easier to actually hit your proper diopter setting because you're not sitting there taking it down and moving it. I don't like a fast focus diopter because I can bump it. And whether that's with a flip cap, whether that's, as you said, if this is like an operator and they've got a rack on and they're bumping up against it. And if the precedence is like a super flat FOV at 1x or an acute reticle at 10x, and it's also in like a dangerous environment where this thing was intended to go, like that's a situation. And I was thinking too, when you had mentioned that larger surface area, it has to be where it's locked. It has to be more proud than where the Razor 1-6 is or the Razor 1-10 is unlocked, right? You talk about making a lighter weight package. And yes, it's shorter, but there's also a lot in there. Like these are concessions that you had to think about. Like how can we make that grip area, that surface area, larger, more tactile, more accessible without increasing weight? And then if we reduce weight, how do we keep like mechanical robustness and reliability front of mind? So that's why it took 7 years.
That's definitely part of it. Yeah, the adhesives, the Loctites, everything that we're using, epoxies. I mean, we did tons of research on that as well. Years of research and trials, just trying to figure out what are the right Loctites, what are the right greases, what are the right epoxies everywhere throughout the whole system to get it to function properly and get it to perform at its highest level. So, I mean, there are areas within like the erector system, typically you'd see brass used because of how it feels. Brass is so much heavier than aluminum. So when we're looking to replace areas that other companies are using brass or other products are using brass in these spots for feel purposes, but we want to get the weight reduction by using different materials there. But now how do we also optimize the feel of some of that stuff for the touch points and whatnot? So a ton of effort and ton of research went into the different greases and the lacquers and everything else that we use throughout the system to get it to not only be robust, but also have those user touch points be what they need to be.
The throw is also really interesting. And so coming from like a competitive multi-gun background, and like the premier optic in that game still is the Razor 1-6.
Oh yeah,
since 2014,
hands down. Yeah,
it's awesome.
And I mean, there's a lot of other great LPVOs out there, but like that thing is the winningest LPVO. Mm-hmm. Remember when I got my first one? The first thing I did is I put a switch view on it.
Yep,
because you had to. Because it's like you're grabbing from the 4 o'clock position and you're rotating to the 8 o'clock position in order to go from 1 to 6. We're going from 1 to 10, and it feels like we're going from 2 to 4. On every other LPVO that I'm used to. And so you talk about that speed. And why is that important? I am outside and now I've gone through a door.
Yep.
And boom, we're on 1X. And it's almost, if you've never touched one before, it's like, did it break? Did it stop prematurely? Because it's so short. That's nifty.
Well, it's fast and it's where you want it to make that transition too.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, everything on here is so well thought out. It's like in that dynamic situation, boom, there it is. I know where it is, and it's just
yeah. I mean, if we want to go deeper into the measuring itself,
I mean, it works within the almost like the with the natural mechanics of the way your hand works.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah. It's just so easy for you to get onto it, find that what we call the shark fin as quickly as possible, and just mag right to where you need to be. And yeah, it works great.
Yeah. Going into the measuring itself, it's some interesting things we did with it. Not only did we shorten up the throw of it, but we added the integrated shark fin, which a lot of people are like, ooh, is that going to be in the right spot? Is it going to be too big? Is it going to be too small? We went back and forth on sizing, heights, all of it. But it's big enough where you can easily get a grip for your hand and rip it back and forth wherever you need it to go. But people were worried, if I bump it off a door, if I bump it off a Humvee, like, is it going to break my scope doing that? So the design of it, we put a lot of time and effort into working the geometries to be snag free. So like you'll notice in a lot of areas we sculpt out any weight where we can. It's like, this is a big chunk of metal up here. Why didn't we sculpt that out? Well, we didn't want a snag hazard in there. We don't want something to be able to get in there and get a snag hazard in there. So that's a concession we made. Like, we'll leave the weight there, but not have that snag. And then when you want to talk about the shock of everything, if you hit your scope off of a Humvee door or off of when you're breaching a building and you bump it off the jam, that's a lot of energy being transferred into your optic itself. So what we did here, when you look at the bottom, there's a little plate here. Do not open that up. Just don't open that up.
I promise you.
If you do, we will fix it, but please don't open it up. Behind that is the way we attach the mag ring itself to the scope body, which is patented, and then also how we connect the erector tube to the mag ring. So we have it decoupled in a way that energy transfer into the mag ring itself doesn't get transferred into the erector tube. So that way we're not rattling those lenses around in the erector tube.
I'm not going to say out loud what the fasteners are on the plate that we beg you, please don't remove. You'll have to go far and wide to go find those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
They're not in most normal toolboxes.
Yeah.
so
No, they're not.
That's good. That's good. Somebody will get them off.
Somebody's,
Oh, yeah.
somebody's
Somebody
going to
will.
call them. Yeah, I can't find the tool to undo these. You're like, perfect.
Yep.
You're not supposed to.
It happens every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, I mean, to Connor's point, that was one of the big things when we realized, hey, we want to do the 120-degree throw, but how do we get enough purchase? Because, I mean, you can make your mag ring a lot longer, but now you're just losing mounting length. You're probably adding more weight by having the mag ring itself go further out there, and there's all sorts of other things that you might have to consider then. But one of the big disadvantages of having an integrated throw lever is that shock that gets transferred into the erector system, and a lot of conventional ways of doing it just destroys really the whole optic if you slam that on a door or a Humvee or something like that. So we wanted to make sure, the erector in this scope is the most expensive portion of it and the most difficult assembly process of the entire optic. So if people do hit this on a door, we don't want to have to scrap an entire erector system or scrap, God forbid, the entire scope. So yeah, it was another really awesome, elegant design that Connor came up with that was able to prevent that shock from actually transferring into the erector system and potentially torching that whole thing. So
That's awesome.
Leveling lines at the 3 9 o'clock position of the rifle scope. This is actually a request that we get on the regular. Now we can talk, we're aware of that. We've been doing it for quite a while. Probably more so for like the expedient armorer to get leveled. Something that we do remind people of when it comes to leveling reticles. Exterior dimensions do not necessarily translate directly to like reticle plumbness, but obviously we hold a very, very tight tolerance and control on this, so it's probably a lot better than you think. So the idea here, like you're a
Slap
unit
it in a
armorer,
mount.
throw it in a mount, hit the level lines, clamp, done. Put
Yep.
it on the weapon, deploy. Okay. Very cool. I think they're also attractive.
They do look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
pops on the black.
Yeah,
for sure.
it does.
I imagine also it's allowing you to a level of repeatability if you removed it from your weapon and need to put it back on, and then also potential slip, right?
Yep.
You can,
You can monitor slip for sure.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you ever take it off to your, like you were saying there, Mark, I mean, from an eye relief perspective, you can drop it right back into that exact same spot. Eye relief is going to be set. You can still go through your traditional kind of making sure everything's level processes, but from an eye relief standpoint, you can drop it right in there and know you're golden without having to get on the rifle and push things in and out or anything like that.
It is worth noting on this product too, it is completely toolless.
Yeah.
So turrets are toolless, battery caps toolless. We give you the option for a coin slot if you do need to use it, if you do want to use it, but you don't need to use it.
Can confirm works with 9mm, 223, and 308 cases. Also, the Leatherman in my pocket and a penny.
Yep.
So what Connor was mentioning there is like generally on turrets like that you can re-index. You'll have like an Allen key or a coin slot. Sometimes both. This, you can actually take your fingers, and that you guys very thoughtfully made this very large, grippy surface that I can, with my desk hands, put my fingers on there and begin to move those off and re-index. So I don't need any of those things that we talked about, which is pretty handy. And we've got finger relief in the battery cap where I can put my fingers into it and twist it, or use the aforementioned pocket tools that we might have on our person.
We actually include a serialized challenge coin in there, which I think is pretty cool too, and that will fit in those coin slots for
Does
you
it
as well.
really?
So if you want to use that as a tool at all, you have the ability
It's a covert
to do
tool.
so.
Yeah, I like that. I also like the box, and I know that's a silly thing, but when you open it up, it's very luxe.
Yeah.
Very luxe.
Yeah. I mean,
Look at that.
each AMG product has its own story.
Yeah.
And this box, with its heritage in military contracts, we kind of wanted to keep with that. So the original boxes we shipped to the contracts were all a brown cardboard box. So figured we'd keep that motif, that feel of the product with it to the consumer market.
That's pretty nifty. That is pretty nifty indeed.
I want to talk a little bit more about the box and what's in it outside of the scope itself in a little bit. But I want to touch on some of the durability testing that you guys have done,
great
and then
topic.
as well as the tolerances that you're holding with this thing.
Yeah.
You want to talk tolerances first?
Sure. I mean, tolerances leading into then what we did have to test it will go hand in hand. So tolerancing is a nightmare if you are an engineer or if you are a machinist. There is no happy medium between the two people. We always want to go tighter. They always want to go looser. So it's been years of back and forth of we set a tolerance and they say, wait, we can't machine that. It's like, well, no, we need you to. They machine it. We're like, okay, we actually don't need that. So let's loosen it up a little bit. So it's been back and forth trying to find the best tolerances for this product. And luckily, because we are fully integrated for our manufacturing, our CNC manufacturing for all mechanical components, and our programmers are here in house, we have a fantastic relationship with those guys. I mean, we give each other crap all the time. It's a great relationship that most engineers don't have with machinists. So we understand their plight. They understand our requirements. So I think we found a really good balance of being tight enough to perform as good as it does, as amazingly as it does, without making their job too hard, even though I do believe I cause them to drink some nights. And that's because we have tolerances all the way down to plus or minus 5 microns. So in the most sensitive system, like the erector tube, we have areas that are plus or minus 5 microns. And because we're in America, most people have no idea what that means. We have to go and use the metric system because otherwise you'd be talking a very, 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 very small fraction of an inch. So 5 microns is about the size of the smallest red blood cell in the human body.
That's just pretty small.
That's pretty small.
Yeah.
And people always ask, like, does that actually make a difference? And our testing shows it does. It's the difference between functioning smoothly or having a lot of tilt in lenses that cause different aberrations, different changes in resolution, change in impact points. So yeah, plus or minus 5 microns, because this system is so short, so sensitive, it makes a difference.
Yeah. Point of order and pride, Mark.
You're in the manual.
So the other cool,
probably should have started there.
The other cool part about like those parts in particular, those really, really tight parts, not every part's that way. I mean, a lot of it's plus or minus 50, plus or minus 100 microns.
They shouldn't be that way.
No, if we don't need to, we don't want to.
Yeah. Yep.
But we had no way of measuring that small. Because if you're measuring that small, you have to have a system that can measure about half or even less than that of the actual tolerance that you're trying to measure to. So we had to figure out how to physically measure these parts that we needed made. So our guys down there found a system to actually do that measurement, and we use air to measure it. So we calculated the movement of air.
Oh, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, the flow rates of air to measure the tolerance band. But what's funny is when you're holding that part in your hand, it comes off the machine, and you hold it in your hand and you put it in the gauge itself, you'll watch the tolerance band change. You'll watch its actual dimensions change because the act of you holding it in your hand and the heat of your hand warms it up enough to change the size of it. So part of the procedure that they have to do, they have to put it in there, wait for 15 seconds, and then take their measurement of it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Material science is
crazy.
the things you didn't expect would make things very challenging.
Yeah.
When you get to the level of resolution of a red blood cell.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, that translates over to the durability side of things. So we've been testing this scope for really probably going on 6 years is maybe when we got the first prototype. And what we set in terms of durability and the limit of testing that this scope was going to see, I think, surpassed really anything that we had in our portfolio at the time. So when we're doing recoil testing, our minimum recoil threshold that it needed to survive was 10,000 rounds of SCAR 17 on our recoil, our simulated recoil machine that we have here in Barneveld. So we've done tons of live fire with it as well, but we've been able to simulate the SCAR 17 profile as well on a machine that we have in-house, so we can fast-track a lot of that testing and a lot of that learning. And we've correlated to, I think, 97 or 98% accuracy that if we see a failure during live fire, we will see that exact same failure during SRM testing at pretty much the exact same round
within
count.
a couple hundred rounds.
Yeah, and a couple things I want to touch on there. There are guns that will move you more than a SCAR 17. Like as you shoot a SCAR 17, whether it's a civilian model or a full auto model, they're not bad to shoot, but they have an impulse to them that is notorious and like they're a great gun, but there's something about them. And I have to imagine it's that like 3.4 pound bolt carrier.
Yeah.
That has something to do with this. They are notorious for absolutely turning an optic inside out. And some of the best optics in the world, some of the best mechanical systems that money can buy, and they'll just crunch them and fold them so quickly. And I remember when like all that was getting spooled up, and when we were working on the SRM and trying to identify those profiles and figure out what was really damning to like mechanical integrity of a system. It's like, well, the SCAR, I mean, it's really pleasant to shoot for a 7.62 full auto gun, but things would just fall apart.
Yep.
No, lenses would turn to dust.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like mounted on a 416 Rigby, your retinas will detach. The optic will be fine.
Yep.
And like things you wouldn't expect would survive on African cartridge recoil impulse die almost immediately on SCAR 17, which is just crazy to think about. And that, I mean, I don't even want to know how many rounds you guys live fired through this.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Live fire,
Tedious.
Live fire was to do more of the correlation testing, but simulated recoil, we've put over 1.8 million cycles on this. Between, I think it's like 250 some units
Somewhere in
tested
there,
over the last 7 years.
Yep. And with the live fire, it's 20 rounds in a magazine.
Yeah.
You got a big stack of magazines.
It's the difference between an 8-day test with 4 or 5 people and 2 or 3 guns, and we can do that in a half a day. So I mean, it's saved people, it's saved money, it's saved time. It's been a huge help having that, and to be able to correlate it to that 96 and 98% level has been absolutely a dream for us, because we can just turn around much faster.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's saving you time, but like you said, it's saving people. I mean, that is a lot of wear and tear on a human being firing that many rounds.
Yep.
Everybody thinks it's really fun to go out there and do live fire testing until they get through about 100 rounds.
My buddy Romulus is going to listen to this one, and he's like, "Dude, can I come just test?" And I always try to be kind to him, be like, "Oh yeah, it's really fun. It's cool to like the third magazine." And then when
Cool's first magazine.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's only 33 more magazines to go through before you have to reload them all and do them again.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You guys wear those guns out.
Oh yeah.
I think we've been keeping FN alive with the SCAR 17.
Yeah. Like wear them out.
Yep.
Like they are dead.
Yeah.
And that rifle has a storied history of reliability, and you guys crunch them.
Mm-hmm.
They're toast. And like rifling gone from the barrel.
Yeah.
And they're renowned for making the best machine gun barrels that you can get. Their barrel process is pretty incredible, total aside. And it is cool to think about when I get to hear those numbers. What would you say it was 1.8 million?
1.8 million.
1.8 million cycles.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is it's probably like 110 yards from my desk. It's not even that. I bet it's like 80 yards.
Yeah.
And thankfully, you made the booth around it.
You have the anechoic chamber.
Yeah. And like I don't hear or feel the floor shake.
Nope.
It's pretty neat, guys.
Yeah.
You guys have a cool job.
It is very cool.
Yeah. I mean, recoil though is only one part of what we had to test for. I mean, we're testing thermal shock, we're testing thermal operation. I mean, because like thermal shock is different than just thermal cycling. So when you have something that's in negative 40 C and you open the door and you throw it into 120 C, I mean, that quick change in or not 120 C, 120 F, 120 C would be really hot for an optic. If you throw it into from cold to hot or hot to cold, that does things to materials that materials don't want to do. I mean, you're talking about cracked lenses. You're talking about cracked metal. So you're talking about greases and glues cracking. So we have to do all that testing. That's where, like Andy was kind of talking about earlier, we spent just years refining greases and glues, because we might have a grease that feels great from 20C to, or not, negative 20C to, I don't know, 80C, and then you throw it down into negative 10C and it just feels like crap now.
Yeah.
Or you get it up into a higher temperature and all of a sudden now it's just
Grease
dripping inside or spilling out and
Yep.
over lenses and so.
And then, I mean, you guys have to take them apart and like do a necropsy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's where a lot of that time comes from.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like,
It's been kind of cool. Connor said this quite a few times, but there's not really a graveyard anymore because, we're still iterating. We're still making things more efficient and changing things as we go.
Yeah.
But I would say over the last 2-3 years or so, pretty much every scope that we put on the SRM to go to 10,000 rounds comes off looking brand new. So it's like, well, what do we do with this scope? It's perfectly operating. And a lot of times we'll say, like, all right, machinist, here you go. You need a scope because we're not going to be selling those.
Right.
So, those scopes that come off the SRM after 10,000 rounds look brand new and function and operate flawlessly. And it's pretty impressive what it's been able to stand up to and how it just keeps going.
gosh,
So,
cool.
Yeah, we've actually done a test here in this last year, changing just, I think, 2 or 3 components out on the eyepiece side. And we would take the entire main body, erector tube, turrets, objective, parallax, all of that, illumination, test it for 10,000, take off the eyepiece, put in a couple new parts, put the eyepiece back on, test it for another 10,000. And I think we had one go up to 40,000.
yep. And it still looked brand new.
Yeah. So no dusting in the objective, no dusting in the reticle.
Yeah.
There's no debris on the reticle. I mean, 40,000 cycles on simulated SCAR 17.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's so cool.
Other thing too, IPX rating. So it's IPX 8 rated. So we have that for 10 meters, 2 hours, and we actually have a really cool machine in our assembly room. So every single scope that comes off the line goes through what we call our CTS machine. So it's essentially like two Delrin clamshells that clamp down over the scope, and we pressurize it, and we look at the pressure difference from when we first start and hold it for, say, 15 seconds to see if any air is essentially entering the system, which would simulate water entering the system. And we tested at both IPX 7, so what is that, 1 meter for 30 minutes?
Yep.
And then IPX 8, so 10 meters for 2 hours simulation as well for every single scope that comes off the line to make sure it's going to survive those two different water egress scenarios as well. So that's pretty impressive and pretty cool too that it's meeting that on every one that comes off the line. Drop testing, we've done a bunch of different drop testing in all different orientations. So yeah, it can be dropped from 5 feet on concrete multiple times with
rifle.
Without anything breaking inside of it. And yeah, it's gone through hell and back.
Yeah. I guess. You got any more of those laying around that are on the 10,000 cycle?
This one here actually was.
Yep.
So
Fascinating.
yeah. And if you want to take a look through it, it looks pretty dang good. Yeah,
I
for
just
going
figured you guys
10,000
had-
rounds.
Probably
You just
take a
had
look through it
to,
on on his rifle.
That's cool.
Yep. So
A testament to the mount too, Like
Yeah. Yep.
that's a lot of vibration, a lot of movement. Holy smokes.
Oh, I mean, when you watch the high-speed videos
Yeah.
of a scope being shot, like the scope doesn't stay straight.
No.
The scope bends and twists and wiggles. So whoever thought putting a round tube in a round hole as a good mounting solution for optics was not a smart person, but that's what we're stuck with now. So
Right.
for now.
For now. That's pretty cool. Golly.
Well, you guys you've been talking about some of the testing, and I kind of wanted this is now I'm going to transition into the internals of the box here.
Well, before we do that, I think it's great to point out that with all the testing that we've developed for this product, I mean, a lot of these tests that we've done, a lot of the test systems that we have now, we didn't have when we started this project. They've been developed with the product itself. So now all of our products in our tiers underneath AMG, so our Razors, Vipers, everything in our lineup now has the ability to be tested to these standards as well. So everything we're doing here, like I said earlier, is going to be trickling down into our other products and only making every single product we make better.
Yeah, and a kind of a neat preview to that is the Defender Red Dot line, right?
Yep.
Like the SRM came out of need for this.
Mm-hmm.
From that, the Defender red dot line, like that story in itself is
Crazy.
Bananas.
Yep.
Bananas. How many iterations? I wish we had a picture of the board.
Yeah.
The dropped units.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then the round count on those things from start to finish, and then the SRM. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of rounds through that thing. We got some miles out of that. I'd be curious because I don't know how far it moves fore and aft.
On the SRM itself, it's pretty similar to a normal like 4.5 inch gun, 5 inch gun.
It'd be interesting if you knew how many cycles it has had.
I think we could pull that.
We
number.
could we could find that.
And
for sure.
how
Don't
far
get
it's
that.
gone.
Yeah.
But you can't count back as going back, as in it's gone nowhere. But
Yeah.
like, it'd be interesting to know how
Absolute value of everything. Yeah.
right, how far that RAM has traveled.
Yep.
There's a ramp up period too on that SRM. So for it to get to kind of full speed and hit that like true profile, there's a couple. I don't know, maybe 20 hits or something like that. 10 hits that it
Get a few
has
extra
before.
love taps in there before you count it.
Yep. So that's typically why like that correlation study hasn't been 100% accurate,
Sure.
is because typically the SRM is more aggressive than what we see in live fire because of probably some of that ramp up impact as well. So.
And assume people have gathered by now, but SRM, simulated recoil machine.
Yep.
Did you ever see that episode of The Simpsons when Bart takes a can of Duff beer and puts it in the paint mixer on April Fools? and then he puts it in the fridge, and like he's like, as he puts it in the fridge, it's shaking, and then he feeds Homer pretzels and turns the temperature up to like 100. And Wiggum, I can't remember what the other cop's name was. They see the explosion. They're like, looks like an explosion at the old Simpson place. That's also what they use the SRM for. is
I do
mixing-
remember that, yes.
Yeah, mixing things in the back.
We have mixed wings on it.
Have you really?
Yes.
That's
yeah,
so.
we've tossed wings on it.
Why don't you tell us this kind of stuff? Like,
As the
when the
5-year anniversary of
Yep,
it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of trickle down, the SRM was actually designed to mix wings.
Yep.
And then,
Yep.
And margaritas.
Hey,
They
and
did-
margaritas,
they-
yeah.
Yep, they
Yeah.
did margaritas.
so with the wing, because I got to know now, like that has to be full incorporation and almost like a marinade by the time you get the sauce on there, right?
I think they created a
They-
separate
they-
profile
yeah.
for it. So it
Oh,
didn't
okay. So
yeah,
it was a
just
scar
explode
7.
them. No.
make them into liquid. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, we don't need emulsified chicken wings.
Yeah.
No,
wings
because the
slurry.
bones, yeah, maybe like very high protein, very easy delivery,
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
but not very pleasurable.
No.
And you couldn't distinguish between drummies and flats. Flats are better, but
Can you not
I'm drunk.
consume solid food but love wings?
yeah. Vortex SRM wings, patent pending.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Now can I dive into the
Yes,
box
yes,
a little
yes,
bit? And unless keep going.
No, I think we're good.
I just think this is.
I mean, I could
so,
go for on for days,
Oh,
but
please do. Don't feel like
it's
you
only
can't
been
after.
it's only been like years of my life. So
This is what I think. This is pretty cool. So each AMG 1-10 is going to come with a certificate of authenticity. A lot of very valuable signatures there. I mean, this is like a Vortex stamp of approval. This
Yep.
thing looks like
Yep.
it's, that's very official.
Oh yeah. I guess as official as it comes, right there. So yeah, we have our assembly techs and our quality team do their inspections, and throughout the entire assembly process, they're checking off the different steps to make sure that it was done correctly. Signing off on it, dating it, stamping it with the serial number. So the serial number that you see on the letter of authenticity will match what's obviously on the scope, which will match what's on the box, and what will match the challenge coin that you get as well. And then we've got our assembly techs, QC team, kind of our front office team, design team. A bunch of us have signed each insert there as well for you to kind of let you know, hey, this has been touched by the people right here in Barneveld. So. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a neat touch.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a AMG notary stamp.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Connor and I are just a small piece of the whole thing. There's so many people here that have put so much time and effort and dedication into making this happen. So we wanted to make sure that, people had that kind of personal touch to show how much time and how much care, I guess, has really gone into the development and the production of this, and what it means to us to get it into people's hands.
yeah,
So,
there's a lot of pride. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a bunch of Americans here making a product that the original design intent was for people to defend freedom.
Yep.
the people here are proud of the product we made.
Oh yeah.
And now we're really proud that we get to deliver it to other Americans. So
That's pretty nifty. I wish it would say born on date, just to be cute. You can derive what you need to derive from it. For me, it will say born on date.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has to feel pretty good to see this project come to fruition the way that it has, and like you said, the pride to see what it's capable of.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
I'll go for it.
It was kind of maybe, I guess, a pipe dream early on for us of this crazy idea that we, I guess, didn't necessarily know we could say no to. It was kind of like, hey, this is the goal. Go do it. And we didn't, I don't think, realize how difficult it was going to be and how much time it was going to take. And a lot of people dedicated years of effort and hard work to bringing it to life. And I think, finally getting it on the consumer market is going to be really cool for us to see it in people's hands that I think are just going to love it. So pretty pumped about it.
The funny part for me, like you said, born on date, like it feels like a birth.
Yeah.
Because we gave the project the name Eleanor at the beginning, and
I totally glazed over that.
We can hit that. We can hit that. But like we gave the name Eleanor, and it's for us. It's always been especially for me. It's always been Eleanor. It's never been the AMG 1-10.
Yeah.
It's always been Eleanor, and it's like they say, like don't give your cow a name.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're going to butcher it later on. like don't name the chickens. It's become a being to me. Like it feels like a child that's being born finally.
We have a Vortex baby named Eleanor here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
not just because his wife thought it was a pretty name, but he thought it was a pretty cool scope too.
So funny part is my oldest daughter, who is younger than the scope, her name is the Gaelic version of Eleanor.
So it's definitely it's taken on a personality, and I think everybody refers to it as Eleanor.
Yeah.
It just
serial number starts with E as well, right?
Yep.
So.
Yep. That was one thing. That was one thing we pushed for with marketing. We got EL on there for the serial numbers, and they said, "All right, we're not going to fight this one with these guys.
They
Just
wouldn't
let
let
them
us.
have it."
Yeah, they wouldn't let us call it Eleanor. So
it's Eleanor.
Yeah,
it's Eleanor.
I'm so happy that made it out to the world.
Yeah. So Project Eleanor. I love your guys' project names when I sneak in there because I can't derive anything that you guys are working on because it's like you need 4 ciphers to figure it all out for obvious reasons. But I look at the board and I'm like looking at the names and I'm like, I wonder what that's going to be.
Yeah, cool name. Cool name. Wonder what that is.
No correlation to anything. So that's the best.
So most of the names have a meaning.
I'm sure to
you
guys.
There's stories to them, but
To us lay people, when we walk into the Bat Cave and see what you and Mr. Fox and company are working on, we just see.
Well, and we might as well go into it at this point. So, what is kind of the backstory of naming the scope project Eleanor?
So back in the day when our department was much smaller, we'd go to a bar here in town. We'd have a project that needed a name, so we'd get a couple drinks, throw it like 60 some names, and start whittling down. People would be championing for their name that they liked, and we got down to Eleanor, and the whole meaning behind Eleanor is taken from the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, and Eleanor being the Shelby GT500. That was the unobtainable car that Nicolas Cage couldn't get, is always the one that got away. So that's kind of why we went with Eleanor, was because it's kind of that same feeling. Like everybody told us
pursuing that unicorn.
Yeah, people always said we couldn't do it. It wasn't possible. Or it was gonna be too expensive.
You'll never get this.
Yeah,
different movie.
So that's where it got the name
came
from.
In second place.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna see Project Borat here. At some point. I don't know what it's gonna be, but
so that's where the name came from.
What is the dumbest name that was thrown out?
Oh God, I have the notebook with all the names
Project
on it.
Borat.
I can absolutely run that back and go find. But
there were some bad ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely had bad
Steve.
ones. So.
He's a nice guy.
Mark, do you have anything on your list?
That pretty much sums it up.
So
for me, at least off my list.
It's a question that I'm going to ask. 7 years. You guys are going to hang it up now?
Yeah, one and done,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Nothing else.
Yep.
Okay.
Knowledge is going out the door.
Nothing cooking.
Enjoy your
no.
early retirement.
Yep.
Thanks for gracing us with this singular project that we'll never see anything like this ever again.
No, we
Right.
got other projects
We
in the
got
hopper.
we got other stuff in the works, and some really exciting things that I think that are going to come from it. And I think the development timeline and not only the timeline, but what we can make going forward is just going to get better and quicker.
Yep.
From all the lessons learned over the years. So it's going to be really exciting for us moving forward to see what else we start coming out with here pretty soon.
Already starting to see some of that trickle.
Oh yeah,
And it's pretty neat. So
Yeah.
every example you guys spin up, like you mentioned, you go faster each time because you're taking lessons learned.
Yep.
Things that we can get rid of, things we need to add, we can add, and it goes quicker. And starting to see in some of the early prototypes for next gen stuff
Yep.
across the entire product line,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
starting to come down, and that's super cool.
And it's AMG's not beholden to being just day optics.
Sure.
There could be spotting scopes, binoculars,
Any
red
product.
dots,
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
I mean, we are watching our social medias all the time. We're listening to what the customer has to say. We're out at events, and us engineers are out at events. I too go do a lot of multi-gun stuff. Talk to those guys. That's actually where the dual dial system first actually got its idea from.
Was it like hoser ammo versus precision ammo?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When you get out to those guys out in the Southwest shooting long range 3-gun matches, you need those 70 grain rounds.
That beats the hell out of the way I used to do it, because it's like you get your
Spray and
55-0, you get your 75-0, and you're looking at it, you're like, oh no.
What's my hold?
There's also a horizontal offset here. It's
Yeah.
like, just remember, you need to favor to the first subtension. Okay.
Yep.
And then, we used to shoot matches like Rocky Mountain 3-gun, Superstition Mountain 3-gun. You'd have 4, 5, high 5s for engagement distances. And like, you're pushing a 16-inch gas gun to its absolute limit, shooting 8 or 10-inch targets, or 25% IPSC.
Yep.
Like super small targets relative to what you're doing. To have had that, because you had the time, because otherwise you're going to go to war with the target anyways.
yeah,
You're going
yeah.
to be walking them in. If I could have gone zip, and execute, and then zip, and go back to hosing targets with 55 grain. Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, where I was going with that was we are out there. We have all of our salespeople out there. We have you guys answering the phone all the time. We hear all that feedback every single day. We're living that feedback. We are our own customers as well. So the products that you're going to see coming out of the AMG line are going to be pretty darn cool. There's a pretty cool roadmap that is gonna push the limits of what we're doing here.
yeah. I was just talking to Rob about you guys in general, and like the neatest part about working with your teams, with traditional NPD teams, is your users.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of other places you go, like maybe an engineer that works at a car company is a car enthusiast, but is he like a driver? Excuse me, maybe he's a driver, but is he a car enthusiast, right? Like what we have here behind those doors is mechanical engineers, electrical engineers. We've got industrial designers, we've got graphic designers, we've got project managers, that you could fill that void with a resume with just simply history in the respective field. But what we have is a bunch of users. Like, you guys hunt, you guys shoot, you've developed cartridges that are wildly popular today. And like, that's an accolade and a credential that like never let go of. It's super cool. It's not just a bunch of people in a room that have a degree and a title.
Well, and I always say you're not going to sort out those finer, nuanced, ultra specialized things without that background.
Yep.
Because there's just no way you could know.
It's a passion. This industry so much is passion.
Yes.
Like, you don't come into this industry to get rich. You come into this industry because you believe in it, you love it, you breathe it. So to be the best engineer you can to design these products, you have to be a user. You have to be interested in what you're doing. Otherwise, you get burnt out and you get pushed out of the industry.
Yeah, and you can go engineer something boring.
Yeah.
I got into the industry because I thought I was going to be hunting elephants.
Yeah.
Turns out it's just to fuel a horrendous addiction to firearms and firearms related accessories. But no, it is awesome because from like my side of the house, huge amount of trust because like you guys use it, you know what you're doing with it, right? And I'm not waiting for some stiff to be like, yes, it fits the parameters as designed by the print. Like, oh, we also understand how it works in the environment because we operate in that environment, which is really nifty. Really nifty. Got some nerds here, man. Some really
it's beautiful.
some unbelievable nerds.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I love taking NV classes.
Yeah.
Taking NV carbine classes. Like that's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like what job as an engineer do I get to go and just put on night vision and go shoot things?
This one.
And have it be product research.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take things out on hunts and it's the best.
Yep.
I will say, so we've talked about all the amazing, positive, incredible attributes of the AMG 1-10. One thing that we've glossed over is the price. People always want to know the price. And this thing is...
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Nope.
You got to want it a little bit, but it also is representative of what you're getting at the same time.
Sure.
Which I think is going to retail for right about $4K, $39.99.
Yep. I think you hit it on the dot there. So, yeah,
I know if I was going to present the number to anybody else, I would say $39.99.
Yeah. It's the most expensive product we have, but it's also a product that has been time tested. It is everything we just talked about for the last hour.
Yep. Every single part's been touched. Everything's been specifically designed to perform the way that it needs to perform. So in order to do that, it was not cheap. And we've definitely done as much as we can to make things as efficient and effective as possible. But it definitely comes at a cost to get everything to perform as good as it needs to. So
well, and from a production perspective, I mean, this is not a volume proposition here.
Yep. It's kind of that halo effect. It's giving our customers a scope that they've wanted for a long time, and now we have the option to give it to them. And I think that's part of it, and it's giving them something that is above and beyond maybe what some expectations could be on something. And I think that's what's really exciting about it. But it definitely comes at a little bit of a cost.
I'll say this. People will look at that number and they'll be like, that's ridiculous. Like point blank, they're going to save $4,000 for a 1-10 LPVO. And I understand, like if I'm looking at this and I'm looking at it honestly, it's like, do I personally have a need for this product? Like, do I have a hole that needs to be filled with a 1-10 super short LPVO with a price tag that high? Well, I would say like, no, right? Why am I going to get one? Because of what you and the rest of the team have put into it and what it represents for this company that I work for. But something that's really important to me, and something that you touched on several times on this, the both of you, is we as a company, as an organization, are willing to do this at tremendous expenditure. It's kind of like a wind turbine. Like that sucker can spin for a couple of lifetimes. They'll never make back the BTUs it cost to build it. And that's a true story.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Gone through her
Trying
podcast.
to tell me.
Yeah. Like this is not to be a revenue generator. What this is for me as a consumer of these products, if I remove the bias, the fact that I get to badge in here every single day, is to see a company place a product like that in their lineup, to put the R&D, to hire and build departments, to invest, is to say that at the very entry level of their line, we've got your back. Like we're building up here to make sure that the foundation is also rock solid. And there's only a few examples in our industry where I see that such a huge span between the entry and the top. And one of them is an Italian gun maker that I've actually been to the facility in Italy. And you can buy a $500 shotgun from them. And I saw a 1.1 or 1.2 million euro gun behind glass. And it's like, now what does that represent? They're willing to do this so that this can be as absolutely good as it gets. And as somebody who sells the product, use the product, talks to customers about the product. It shows. So the efforts, the discoveries that you guys have made, the equipment that you've pioneered, the processes that have been derived from the development of this product shows in things like our Triumph at $99.99.
Yep.
And
that goes on the SRM too.
Yeah. That's the greatest thing ever.
Yep.
Like, yeah, we're not all going to be driving Cadillacs because of this product, right? That's not the point.
No. I think once long ago, our director told us that to kind of treat us like the F1 like team.
Yeah.
Like Honda's got an F1 team. Like it's that same kind of feeling. We're here to drive innovation. We're here to drive and make things that are really freaking cool.
Yeah.
That we're not going to make a ton of them. We're not going to sell revenue dollars on these. But like you said, it trickles down. It makes everything we do better.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? You can't buy a Honda F1 car.
No.
You can't buy a McLaren F1 car. You can't buy a BMW F1 car. You can buy a Razor HD AMG. And these things are in the wild.
Yep.
They're out.
Yep.
They're doing stuff.
They've been doing things for a while in places that we don't know where we are.
Yep.
Yep.
They've come a long way since that day.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
We probably should, Connor, as long as we're talking, we should address the shirt in the room.
Oh, yeah.
What's that say?
So it says, I keep all my dad jokes in a database. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys knew this, but every Friday, Connor sends out a joke of the day. So essentially two jokes of the day. He has his awesome dad jokes he sends out every Friday, even when he's on vacation.
Yep.
They still come out on Fridays, and it is fantastic.
Gotta keep morale,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Is it hard to wait? Like when you get to work on Monday, is that all you can think about?
Oh, he sends them out right away in the
Friday
morning on
morning,
Friday. So Friday morning dad jokes, and we pop them up right out of the
Funny
gate.
part
so
is when
pretty
I
good.
when I get them out on time, nobody says anything. If I'm a little late, all of a sudden people are like, hey, where's the jokes? The joke's coming out today? It's like, it's 11 o'clock. I'm sorry to get them out at 8.
Remember the weather reports?
It's good to know people are reading
It
them.
reminds me of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, cool, guys. Well, there you have it. Eleanor, the AMG 1-10x24. Like I said, I mean, this thing really is just an optical masterpiece, and my hat is off to you guys. You did it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Big team of people did it.
Yeah.
So not
Wasn't
just
just
us.
us.
It was a huge group effort. So couldn't have done it without everybody here. So,
Super
for
groovy.
sure.
Super groovy.
So, all right. Well, that wraps up this episode, Ryan. So, to everybody out there, check out the AMG 1-10. Until next time, happy hunting and shooting. We'll catch you on the next one.
See
Bye,
ya.
everybody.
There you have it, folks. Thank you very much for listening. As usual, give this video a like if you liked it, comment something below, and give us a subscribe to the Vortex Nation podcast channel. It would mean a lot to us. Also, why don't you give us a follow over on Instagram while you're at it, at Vortex Nation Podcast. We'd love to hear from you over there, and we'll keep you updated with all kinds of cool photos and videos from our adventures that we do here. Otherwise, we will see you on the next one. Thank you again. Happy hunting and shooting, everybody. Have a good one.